One of the easiest ways to make mistakes with technology is to try to use it without understanding what it does. And with language models, because of the massive hype, most people have a somewhat damaged model of what they actually do, which leads us to make a lot of mistakes. In particular, if you care about accuracy when you're generating content, you've got to remember that language models don't actually know any facts. When they're trained, they're given huge suites of documents that allow them to learn about connections between words that they've seen to words that they can now predict. This encoding allows them to do an exceptional job of predicting the word that is the most likely to follow the words they are currently reading. Sometimes this results in truth. Likely and true are often matched. The facts that language models get right are those that never change. Mount Rushmore isn't going to get up and move. It has and always will be in South Dakota. None of the text associated with Mount Rushmore ever mentions any other location. So South Dakota simply doesn't have any competitors. You can say the same thing for the Statue of Liberty in New York, the Eiffel Tower in Paris, and Chicago being a city in Illinois. These facts are not quite etched in stone, but the volume of text associated with them almost makes them so. So language models are right about things that don't change. But most of the facts that we care about change over time. I care about how many students are in a class, not what the most likely number is given history. I might want to know how sales are doing for my business now, not the aggregation of sales in the past. I care about who's the mayor of Chicago now, not who's the most likely mayor of Chicago given all the news I've ever read. How do we make sure our models tell the truth, even when the truth is changing? Well, you can't do it with training. If the weather is constantly changing, a constant flow of examples of what yesterday looked like is not going to tell us what the details of today are. So how are we going to deal with that? How do we make the truth more likely? One approach is a technique called Retrieval-Augmented Generation, or RAG. The idea behind it is to feed the models facts, even new ones, by passing them documents that contain those facts as part of the input. We find the documents that answer the question, who is the mayor of Chicago? What companies have chief AI officers? Or how students are doing, and use those as part of the content. In some sense, we are saying to the model, given this document that says that the mayor of Chicago is Brandon Johnson, tell me who the mayor of Chicago is. By including these documents in the context the system uses, we tilt the likelihood in the direction of truth contained within them. As we integrate generative technologies into our workflow, the challenge is to make sure that we feed them information, not for training, but for generation, information that is true. We give them information so they have more to say about the world than the words that are the most likely. If we don't, we will continue to generate content that reads well and is plausible, but is simply false. With RAG, we can guide them by telling them explicitly what is and is not true. No matter what, make sure you understand that these systems might sound nice, but they live in the world of the likely, not the truth. Thanks for joining us. And as always, stay safe.